ain't gonna expose. I'm not like that. I'm not a snitch. Virginity. It's a hush hush topic.
Yeah. They love me.
Let's see if your parents raised you.
It's deeper than the physical.
What up, fam?
Yeah,
Welcome back to the Juxtaposition, everyone. Welcome back to the Juxtaposition. I'm your host, Nana, and we got a great episode. We got amazing guests. Me and Bernice are sharing mics today, so.
Yeah.
Tell them what your name is.
My name is Bernice.
No.
Okay.
I'm joking.
And my name is Janet.
Okay, we have two amazing guests. First, we got.
Michael.
Hey! I thought you said your name is Mikey.
Mikey, Michael, whichever way you want to.
Okay,
This is for me, actually, Michael.
And your name?
I'm Sarah.
Okay, so first I'm going to tell you how I met Mikey. Mikey and I worked at Foot Locker, but we didn't work a lot of shifts together. But when we did work shifts, it was like, you know, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Magic.
He was Michael Jordan. I was Scottie Pippen. Or it was like D-Wade, or I keep on looking at the camera, but I'm supposed to be talking shit. It was like D-Wade or LeBron, you know? So we had great times, and then we had one conversation outside. Remember when I was giving you the shirt?
Yeah.
For like a long time, we were talking about relationships and stuff like that. And he's like, yo, no, I gotta come on the podcast, you know? I gotta say this. I was like, you know what? Let's do a Valentine's Day, you know? Oh yes, this is kind of like the Valentine's Day episode, right? Yeah. This is for the singles. Anyways, that's all I gotta say. So for Bernice, how did we meet Sarah? How did you meet Sarah?
Sarah.
This is
Very
very weird because normally But so I met Sarah. It was probably last year.
Yeah.
I don't know when. Was it the
The
summer?
summer.
Yeah, right. And I just said hi. She was wearing this yellow. Was it the yellow?
Bright yellow jacket.
Yeah. I just introduced myself, and then she said she knew about me because she was connected to Urban Promise, and Kuya was the one who talked about me. It's like she was looking for a church at that time, and so yeah, from then on we just got really connected. And she sings. She has an amazing.
Sarah Felicia music.
Yes,
check her out.
Check her out. Yeah, ever since then we've just been connected, and she's been connected to the church. And so it's been really nice, and yeah, I'm so excited to have her here. Don't mind that. That's just an alarm to let us know that.
David's phone's
Keep it rolling. So yeah, then as Nana said, this is going to be an episode that's talking about singleness and that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So let's
dive right into it.
Are we ready?
I'm ready. I'm born ready.
Yeah, it's going to be a cool conversation.
I feel like we definitely have like just two different perspectives in terms of just like the worlds that you guys have come from. I don't know, like they're just two different people. You can just tell like they have different perspectives. And so as we dive in today, you'll see different opinions, and that's what we want to do. We want to have different opinions and not the same ones, and hear from people who, you know, are not like us. So yeah, so let's get into it.
So the first question is, what is your status? Who wants to go first?
Ladies first.
Okay.
Okay, so single currently, but you never know what can happen in a day.
You're right.
Jeez,
Come on.
that's fact.
You heard it.
Keep talking.
You heard it.
Yeah.
All right.
Status.
Yeah, I'm single.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. Don't do
I
this.
feel like he's in a situation. I feel like he's in. Ladies, you heard him. His lady friend. He said he's single. So
Single.
okay. Oh, sorry. I was waiting for you, Jack.
Well.
Oh, sorry.
So, second question, did you find it hard to date in this generation? Elaborate if you can.
I find it hard. I'll go first because Sarah went first last time. Dating for short term, yes and no, but more no. The dating for long term, yeah, it's just super hard. I don't know how to say, like short term. I feel like everyone's after the quick life, like the quick life. Like I feel like it's in music, it's in our major media. Just feel like it's everywhere. So everyone just wants the quick thing, and if you're looking for something long term, it's like I'm not ready. Or people are not serious, or ready for that thing yet. So it's like so short term, not really, but long term, yeah. I feel like it was difficult.
So have you dated? Sorry, this is my question. Have you dated? Have you dated before, like in terms of had a relationship?
I only had one girlfriend ever, like one serious girlfriend, and other than that, yeah. But the rest of the dating has been like here and there, not really anything stable, just flings. If I'm being honest, that's been the majority of it. I'm not proud of it for me, but yeah.
Hey man,
It's a
I've been there, done that. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, sorry.
Offline, we're gonna
Gotta-
have a
gotta
conversation.
say.
Yeah, we're gonna have a
You want to tell us?
Ladies and
No,
gentlemen,
I'm just saying, like, you know those ones that you talk to someone?
I don't know.
No, you know those ones you talk to someone, but you're not really dating.
So you're
You know,
talking
you
about
talk-
talking.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Feelings,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, come on, don't do me like that.
Of course.
I'm with you, dog.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. Did we ask the same question for Sarah? Or did we
No,
ask?
Sarah's next.
Oh, that was a
That
follow
was
up.
my
My bad.
question. My first time.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About if it's hard to date in this generation, I would say for me, yes, because I tend to be a little bit more like of an old soul. So like for me, it's like I'm a very much like in person. Let's meet. Let's talk face to face. Let's go out. Let's go for coffee. Let's get to know each other in person. And I feel like this is a very like. I know, like, my friends, like, with online dating, that's, like, a huge thing right now. And, like, it works for some people, and I think if you do it, like, prayerfully and with discernment, like, you could go well. Like, I know stories where it has worked, and then stories where it hasn't. But for me personally, I'm, like, a face-to-face kind of person. And then I also am in favor of, like, you know, I think when you are in a relationship, of course, teamwork, it takes two, but in the initial pursuing phase, I'm in favor of the guy like taking the lead on that and pursuing, because then that's like an indicator to me, like what kind of like man this is going to be. Like, is he going to be able to lead like a relationship, or you know, our if he is a potential spouse one day, like our family, and is he like, for me as a Christian, like is he going to be able to lead while also seeking God in the process too? So
Wait, can I ask you a question? So would your respect level be different if you met somebody online as opposed to if you met somebody in person?
I don't think my respect level would change, because if that's the way God wants it to be, and He tells me, like, you know, this is something that's good and that, you know, that I should do it. But I think my preference would be to meet in person and to date in person.
In person. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I always said I'd rather meet someone like at work or in school, you know. I just feel like online, you know, Instagram is basically a dating pool, to be honest. It's basically a dating pool, you know. So it's like you DM someone and it's like, hey, how you doing? How's your life? You like, you know, and it just
That could work though. It's actually not bad.
It can
'cause
work,
you
but
can
it's not
actually
for
see
me.
Somebody,
it's not for me. It can work, but it's not
but
for
you
me.
pick and choose who you want to DM.
Yeah.
So how? That's
But
what I'm saying.
it's more for me. It's more successful if like I'm in the same space. I can see you like how you interact with people. You're not even thinking you don't even know I'm trying to plot, but like I'm watching.
But what if you are DMing somebody and then you eventually meet this person?
If I'm DMing someone with the
Because it's not like you're not. It's like you can make it to where you actually go out with this person, have coffee, get to know them.
I'm not trying to say it's bad.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's for me.
Okay. I'm just
say?
saying that's an
Yeah.
option.
Have you tried that before?
Mikey, is this about me?
No.
Ask the question, please. Ask the question.
I have.
It's about us.
I have.
Okay.
How did that go?
It worked in a way though, but it wasn't long term. It worked. Like I DM'd the person, got to know them on DM. You know, when I FaceTime with them, because I don't play that. You know, you got to see on FaceTime and stuff like
no
that.
catfish,
No catfish. But this person didn't want to. Oh, I'm exposing myself. So we're back. Sorry, guys. So my answer was.
You don't like online dating?
Yeah, I wouldn't prefer online dating. I rather prefer in person. But you never know what God would do. But the next question is, what are some of the things you have learned about yourself during? Oh my God! Sorry. What are the things? What are some of the things you have learned about yourself during your times of dating?
I learned that I wasn't learned about myself, right? I wasn't competitive enough.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I feel like life as a man is super competitive. Like everyone wants the girl you want, everyone wants the car you want, everyone wants the house that you want, so on and so forth. So I feel like as a man, you have to be willing to fight tooth and nail to get what you really want. Otherwise, you get everyone's leftovers. So I feel like what dating taught me, because I'll be on a date with a girl, and then like we'll be joking about like exes or past dates, or like what's your worst first date, like stuff like that. And then things come up, and then she'll show me like her DM, like, yo, look what this guy DM me today. And I was like, bro, girls' DMs is madness. Like you see some
popping in there.
stuff, like some guys,
Facts.
bro. It'll be October. People are talking to themselves from April. Just say, hey, how you doing? Hey, babe, I haven't heard from you in a while. Oh, that dress is so nice. I'm like, she hasn't replied. Like, stuff is great. Like, people say, oh, what's your e-transfer? I'm like, yo, like, and it's crazy. And especially the pretty girls, like, I know a girl that, like, she was getting a new deal. Like, she's getting, like, 30 new DMs every day. Like, 30.
What?
Two. And I'm like, it's crazy. Like, so it's crazy. I'm saying all that to say, like, somebody else wants her, right? And that goes for everything else in life too. So as a man, you have to know that, okay, if this is the person I want, this is the thing I want, this is the job I want, a lot of other people want that too. So you have to accept the competition and just be the best man that you can. And if you lose, you have to hold yourself accountable. Like, that's one thing. I have friends like this. Like, they duck accountability every chance they get. Like, yo, I got fired because of him. I lost this because of this. This person doesn't like me because of this person. And it's like, yo, when do you ever look at yourself? Like, you're the common denominator in all these. Like, I had a girl. She's like, oh, I had six boys. I had six exes, and they all cheated on me. I'm like, do you not see that you're the common denominator, like, in all six?
Something may be wrong with you.
So you're probably choosing something wrong or whatever, right? Yeah. So embrace competition, be the best that you can, and if you lose to a better man or you lose to a better person, accept that and then grow with that. Right? So that's what dating taught me. Like, I need to be more accepting of competition, because anything good comes with competition. No one's fighting for scraps. Right? Everyone's fighting for the best thing they can get, and it goes down from there. So that's what I learned. That's what dating taught me.
I've never heard that before. That is so interesting. But you can go.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot that I need to learn and experience in the area of dating. But I think a big one for me is knowing your identity and like being firm in your identity in Christ. So that when that right person does come along, it's like your worth isn't in what that person says about you. Like, if they don't say you're beautiful that day, like, you still know you're beautiful because God says you're beautiful. God says you're his masterpiece. So just being rooted in your identity in Christ, but then also so that when that person comes, you're not looking to that person to fill you. You're already like filled and content, and then you're more so just walking alongside each other and growing instead of expecting each other to like be that everything when only God can be, that everything when only God can fill you. So that's a huge one. And then the importance of what it means to actually like love someone the way that they deserve to be loved. And that starts from, I would say, knowing God's love for you, and so that you know how he wants you to love others in a relationship. So yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So let's say you meet a guy, he's great, he checks a lot of boxes. What if you feel like he's not really holding himself? Are you saying bye-bye, or are you like maybe giving him a chance and maybe praying for him and stuff like that?
Yeah, so again, everything would have to be with like discernment. If God is saying, like, I brought you two together, I think just keeping the perspective that like relationships aren't perfect. We're not gonna be perfect. We're never gonna be like fully healed until we go to heaven. It's like, it's a process. But I do think there needs to be like a level of healthiness and maturity, but also feeling ready to be in a relationship. But like, if hard times are coming, like, I wouldn't just be like, peace out, it would be like, let's work together, let's do this together with God, but then just remembering that it's also not up to me to change him. Like, that's between him and the Lord. So just remembering who God is in that relationship, but and also giving God room to work, and then just using discernment, like is this a good relationship to be in? Do we need time apart because we need to work on ourselves and grow? Are we supposed to continue to grow together to get through this together? So at the end of the day, it's all about using wisdom and prayer, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. Do you think both of you guys, since you're in your single season, do you think you're ready to be in a relationship as of right now?
As of right now, I think I am.
Why?
Yeah, and why? Elaborate.
I think I'm ready because I think I've done the fast life, and it's not fulfilling. And so I think, and even when I was in the midst of the fast life, I knew like I just be like, oh, like that's like the same. It's like the same thing but different person, right? So yeah, I knew I need to build something, because past life is like this person comes, this person leaves, new person comes, new person leaves. So I think that's the case for a lot of men. I think I'm not promoting any fast life, but I'm saying if you do it, you get to really see for yourself what comes with that, and then you're able to say, okay, this is not what I want. 'Cause I've seen like men in relationships, and they're like, the girl's like fine, like she hits every metric, but he's like, I wonder what it's like to do this. I'm like, bro, your mind's in the wrong space. So I don't know, like, but I've done the fast life, and I know it's not what I want. So I think I'm ready for a relationship now, because I feel like I have enough experience to start a relationship on the right foot, and to be open and to be vulnerable and to be available for somebody, and to grow with someone in God and figure out things together, and kind of, iron sharpens iron, like how the Bible says. And I feel like I'm ready for that.
What are you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think I'm at an age now where it's like I'm ready. It's like I have my career, I'm settled. I feel like I'm in a good place. Again, like obviously I'm healing from stuff, but that's a process, right? And I think there's a danger when you feel like you have to be like, when you hold yourself to the standards, like you have to be like perfectly healed and all this stuff, because God could even use people to come into your life and help you with that, right? So I think, yeah, in a short answer, yes.
I like that. That's some good answers, Dad.
I had a question. So have you learned to embrace your singleness, though? Because sometimes we go through a phase where we don't date for a period, and then it's like, okay, I think I'm ready now. But have you learned to embrace that singleness phase?
Yeah, I learned to embrace it. Especially, I don't know what it is. I think like when Drake started popping, like when I was in high school, being in a relationship was like super trendy. Like that was a thing to do. Like it was cool to just have a girl and just take a picture and be in Dubai and do this, right?
Yeah.
It's a trendy thing. So when you're single, it's like what's wrong with you? Like you can't find nobody. Like there's girls everywhere. What's wrong with you? So you kind of like dabble with that. But I learned to embrace it because I learned that I feel like it's a self-development phase, right? A lot of people that haven't healed from past trauma or past relationships, if they don't heal completely, they jump into another one. And you, just like what my uncle says, you end up bleeding out someone that didn't cut you, right? So you bring past things into the present, then you ruin the present, and the cycle continues, right? So, I learned to look at it single as a self-development phase, and to grow, because when you're in a relationship, even if it's the right one, half of the energy that you can use towards self-development, you have to use that half to nurture the relationship, right? Because you don't want to make the other person feel like they're in the relationship by themselves. Like, oh, I'm the only one that tries to do dates. I'm the only one putting in effort. I'm the only one, and he just goes to work and comes home and goes to sleep, right? So you have to put that half of your energy into a relationship to make sure that the two of you is growing as a unit, right? But while you're single, you can put the whole 100 into yourself, right? So then you can start on a better level. So I've learned that. Single is not a bad thing. People try and give people labels, especially women. Women are pressured to, find someone fast and do this. But I feel like it's a self-development phase.
And I like he said, like people. How many times in high school I've seen someone come out of a relationship, then go right back into a relationship, and they can probably be still together like right now. I'm like, yo, so you're telling me you've been together since like grade 10? That's probably like almost like 8 years. Like, do you even know yourself? Like, that's scary.
It's quick, yeah.
Like, that's scary. Then you get into marriage and it's like you're connected with this person, but it's like you don't even know who you are without this person, you know, and that's the scary part because people don't know what it's like to be single. Yo, I know someone or a couple people that have been in a relationship every year of their life. I mean, of course, like when they're babies, but like in their 15, 16, like that's crazy. Bro, I want some space, bro. You don't get out my face.
But obviously that stems from something, right?
No, it
and
does.
so that's why it's like he's saying you have to heal. That's self-development. If you don't take that time to say, you know what, I noticed that I'm just what's it called? A serial dater. Like I need to be like, I can't. If I don't have a person next to me, or I'm not talking to somebody that I feel like there's something that's going on, and so like you need to recognize that, and that comes with self-development. If you're not developing yourself, you won't be able to learn how to be self-aware and learn those things about yourself. So,
and just like I feel like identity, it just brings me back to like when you're in a relationship, I feel like, or like you feel like you need a relationship every single year, it's like you don't know who you are and you don't really want to know who you are without that person.
Scary.
It's like if I come out of this relationship, who am I? Like what, like am I beautiful? Do I feel good about myself? Who, like, you know, like finding yourself is a big thing in your single season, and if you're with someone the whole time, like it's very hard. Like decisions are made together, and that's what I guess for me is the marriage stage is supposed to be about, where you've already developed yourself, as you said, and you are able to be self-aware of yourself and your emotions, and not, you know, think, oh my gosh, like if I do this, then what happens? Just like Sarah's saying, like be rooted in God and know that He loves you, and what your thoughts are your thoughts, and so it helps you make decisions in the end. But yeah.
When I was in grade 12 and my girl broke up with me, or my ex-girl broke up with me, I was on the bed laid out. Like my identity was so wrapped into her. I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna get someone again like this. Like I'm here thinking like this person is like the end all be all. But it's like that needed to happen for me to like, you know myself some more. And if that didn't happen, I probably would have still been in a relationship. Probably would have not got introduced to God. Probably not would have got introduced to my friends and my Christian community. So certain stuff need to happen. And what's the saying? Like certain things are for your protection. Like rejection is protection. Rejection is for protection.
Ooh, never heard that one.
Real talk. So yeah, I'm talking a lot. But yes,
No, I love everything that you guys are saying. I think when you're single, like embrace it, because this is your time where it's you and God. You know, it's your time to know who you are, to like grow in your identity, to continue to heal, because, you know, I think before you do get into a relationship, there does need to be a level of healing where you can healthily move forward. And then, you know, it's like take that time to really, like for me, like what I'm doing right now is I'm embracing this time that I have where it's just me and God, where I can go home and I don't have all these extra responsibilities. I could blast the worship music, dance around my room, lie there and just worship, really getting to know His Word, you know, and like being rooted in His Word. So just honestly taking delight in Him, figuring out like who He's called you to be and growing in those things. So, you know, like when you do get into the relationship one day, again, like you're ready and you know more about yourself, and, you know, your relationship with God is at a good and healthy place. So, yeah.
That's real, yeah.
What are you guys prioritizing in this season of singleness? Is it like, I'm just going to go to work, create relationships, get to know, you know, friends and stuff like that? If anything, what are you guys prioritizing?
I'm on a podcast, right? There's people around me and the video is recorded. So I'm going to be politically correct. No, but I think the first thing I should be, or I'm trying to be, is relationship with God. And on podcasts and YouTube videos and all these TikToks, I see people just say relationship with God and just assume everyone knows what everyone's talking about. And some people, people never explain it. Like, I feel like it's kind of like hygiene, right? Or someone that like keeps up with their teeth. If your teeth are mad yellow and you brush super hard for 12 minutes, it's not gonna be white. Like right away, it takes like a couple weeks or a month or whatever, right? And I feel like that's how like it should be, like relationship with God. It's like it's not something that just sparks the next night. It's like something you keep pursuing, you keep looking, you stay interested, you stay curious. And then after a while, his ideals become yours. And then you live that out with this body that we have, right? And then you keep doing that over time, and you become somebody else, right? No matter what the past is, right? We see people in the Bible, I can't come up with someone right now, but we see people in the Bible all the time, people that were betters, people that were killers, or, was it Barabbas, whatever? Like, there's all types of characters in the Bible that had a terrible past, and then God flipped them around, right? So the first thing is probably relationship with God. Then the next thing, I'm not gonna lie, it's money, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. We live in Toronto.
It's hard.
I've been trying to move out for years, and the rent keeps going up. So I'm like, Dad, 1 more year, I'm gonna keep it a buck. So yeah, so those two things are the top two, but some other stuff as well. You're trying to stay healthy and trying to learn about what's important, like being financially aware about certain things and things like that. So
Yeah, I would say a couple things for me. To kind of expand on the point you were saying about, having your desires line up with God's desires. I think that's a huge thing for me right now because, the word says seek after God, follow his ways, and he'll give you the desires of your heart. But that doesn't necessarily mean that everything you want you're gonna get. But it does mean that when you're taking delight in the Lord, and you're building a relationship with him, you're like, God, I want what you want. Then it's your desires become his desires. And then, so I think building my relationship with Christ is a huge thing. And then I would say the second thing would be community, because let's be real, singleness can feel lonely. And it can be really hard. Some days it's I love being single, blah, blah. The next day it's God, what's taking so long? So I think in those moments being listen, do I need somebody to be with right now, or do I need connection? Because, where God even said it's not good for man to be alone. And yes, we need to seek God first. Yes, we need to go after him first. Yes, he needs to be our source. But he also created us to need community and to be in community. So just making sure that I have, connection with community, that I have brothers and sisters in Christ, that I have spiritual mothers and fathers pouring into me, and all that stuff. I would say that's another priority in my singleness. But even when you do get into a relationship or married, it's still so important to have that community and that godly, wise counsel.
Yeah. And I like that point, because a lot of times, sometimes women, we don't prioritize community. We're just so focused on I need to get a man, I need to get married, I want to have children. But
just
then it's in that season when you are married and you don't have that person or that group of friends to run to, then who do you turn to, right? And so it becomes difficult. And so for me too, this season is prioritizing those friendships, and mostly just women friendships, because for me it's just easier for me to create relationships with men. But with women it's a little bit difficult because it takes a little bit more for me. And so I know the importance of having that, and not just women my age, but people who are older too, because they do have wisdom to give. And so it's yes, it's comfortable to have people my age, but it's you need to have those people who tell you the truth, no, you're girl, get it together. So community is definitely very important.
Yeah, that's hard. How do you guys deal with the pressures? Because with men, it's I once had my mom told me Nana, marry when you're 35 and stuff like that. So the pressure, especially for African men, is not really today or marry now. I don't know if that's in your house.
That's not the case for me, but go ahead.
Okay, but usually that's how it is.
Yeah,
but for the woman, how's the pressure for you? Are you getting the, hey, where's the ring?
All the time.
Are you serious? Oh no!
There's not one family get together that I go to.
That they ask, she's hey, is there anybody? Is there somebody?
Did you meet anyone? One time I was just really happy. I don't know, and then my uncle was like, "Did you meet somebody? Your face is glowing."
Oh my God!
Why can't I just be happy? No, I didn't meet anybody. But it's I think I get their attention. They really want me to be with somebody and stuff. But I don't know. I'm just you know what? God's timing, it'll work out. Just chill, I
think one of my biggest, it's the assumption that marriage completes you. It's very.
What did our friend say? Tell them what our friend said. Who? Remember Carissa?
She said. Oh yes, Carissa said
that singleness is just as beautiful as marriage. And it is true, because there's so many beautiful things that you can learn in that season of being alone, but also surrounding yourself with people that are also just journeying with you, and things that you can learn about yourself, about people around you, how to manage people around you, boundaries. Like, there's so many things you can learn. Whereas marriage, now you gotta, it's beautiful, but the work is a lot. And I think we take it for granted when we are single. And then it's like you are married, and you're just like, oh,
It's like, what is
I miss
this?
those days where I could just, sleep in and not have to call anybody, and not have to worry about somebody else's feelings. It's just like I can do my own thing. But now it's like, you're sleeping next to this person for life, so you better figure it out. If you're mad, you better figure it out. If you're not happy, you gotta have conversations. So, and it's like everything's together. So So then.
Yeah, I agree. It's like I so desire to be a wife and a mother one day, but I know when that time comes, I'm going to be looking back and being like, oh man, remember those days where I could just come home, go in my room, worship the Lord,
You don't have no curfew.
Yeah, you have to be more intentional with planning when that time comes. And that marriage is like a beautiful ministry in itself, but singlehood is also a really great ministry, and that's your time where it's like you and God, and it's your time to do like everything that He's calling you to do, and figuring out what that is.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, I feel like I heard from Pastor Kingsley, that's a person who I watch, a pastor. He says, like, for men, like, it'd be like, oh, well, it's the end. You know what? You can't date anymore. You're locked down. And then, like, women is like, oh, it's open to everything. Like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, for women, getting married is like a start of something new. That's how you placed it. That means you have kids, you can have a new house, you can move and get a new car. But then on the other hand, for men, it's like, well, now you're locked down. It's one woman. That's it. Like bachelor parties, you're like, man, just get it in. That's the last one, man. Like that. But it's like, it shouldn't be that way, right? It should be like, it is a start of something new. And when you get to that point, like, it's gonna be beautiful, but like, of course, enjoy the season of singleness right now, because that's an end. That's like
an end to a new beginning.
To a new beginning, and then it blossoms. I think marriage is more of starting something new, but more like together in a different way.
Yes.
So it shouldn't be an end to something.
Yeah, I was just searching up a Bible verse that is from 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 34. And it was saying, like, his interests are divided. It's basically saying, like, okay, let me just read the verse. Let me not even,
Trying to paraphrase that. I don't know how to do this right now.
I would like you to be free from concern. An unmarried man is concerned about the Lord's affairs and how he can please the Lord. And basically, like, and then I believe the next verse is saying, like, if you are married, your devotion is to the Lord, but your attention is now like split in half because you gotta worry about this and that. So it's saying like, your time with singleness is very crucial and is very beneficial, because your focus is all on me, and that's just so like, wow, like you love marriage for us, God. But in the time of marriage, like, we're not going to be able to sit down in our room, just be able to like read the word and all that stuff. So it's like, it's very crucial. And I don't want us to just be sitting and be like, oh my God, where's my man? That's why I don't like rush my sisters, like, at all. Like, it's like, I know like when the time is right, then someone will come. But I really want them to execute like this time they have right now, even if you're 30, 31, whatever. Doesn't matter, because God redeems time. Because sometimes we be like, yo, time is gone. My womb is gone. Everything. But it's like, no, like, that's not the case. Would you rather be married at 28 and then you get divorced at 32? Or would you rather be married at 35 and be married for life and have that deep connection, right? So I think that's one thing we gotta like really take in, because even I'm speaking for myself, to be honest, but yeah.
It's true. And like in your singlehood, it's you and God, but then when another person comes in, it's like now two are one.
Yeah.
So it's now you, God, and this other person.
Yeah.
So it's like everything that you had to deal with as a single person, but now
An extra person now.
another person, and like, everyone has issues. So like what they're dealing with too.
Yeah.
So
I feel like now with this age of social media, it adds another pressure. Not just the pressure to get married,
Yep.
but the pressure to have the best wedding.
Yes, the
Especially
best.
me.
Oh
like me.
my God.
I'm Nigerian. I've never seen a small Nigerian wedding. Every wedding was
That's
extravagant.
pressure. That's
I'm
pressure.
like, you have to have this, and the traditional, and then the Canadian one with the suit and tie, and then it's like, it's so many pressures. You log on, you see the best wedding in Colorado. They rented this whole farm, and I'm just like, bro.
Where does it? I don't even know how can I make
So-
it. Trust me, I literally saw one where they flew in a plane and
What?
the people came down from a plane.
See?
And it was a Nigerian wedding. They came down
See,
from a plane.
Nigerians,
There
you
was
guys, they do
red
too.
carpet.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on here? It's like a production movie. It's too much. Obviously, people. At some point, it's a show. At some point, it's just like they're celebrating, but then it's like, okay, how can I showcase this is like the best wedding of all time? But it's like some of those marriages end in like 2 years.
Yeah,
It's like you spent all that money for only 2 years.
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna be honest, because you're the only man on the panel. I feel like men don't really care about the marriage. Like men, we don't care about marriage. We care about the girl. Like we'll get married in the corner and that's it. We don't care about
That whole
But girls are like,
shebang,
oh my god, it has to be this color. The groomsman has to be wearing this. And we're like, okay, like you're my wife, so I'll do what.
Right.
I'll make your dream day come true, right? But in the back, we're like,
And especially you're dealing with the wife's family
wife's
too.
family too. Yeah.
Man,
Well, it
man.
could be the groom's family too.
What percent? That percentage is not high. It's usually the female's family. I don't know if you guys can disagree, but it's
can't speak to
usually
that.
the female's family that just wants this. I can get married in a church and call it a day. To be honest,
Volkswagen.
to be honest,
it doesn't
I mean
matter.
sometimes I do. Wanna? I can go in the middle, but like I don't want. I'd rather save that money and go buy a house. To be honest, but you guys
That makes
pay.
sense. And I think I always wanted a bigger wedding, but I don't know. Now I'm just like, you know what? I'm fine with the small one. But I think with the whole thing with like the wife and her family, it's like I think a girl just has a dream in her head, and then the mother does too.
Yeah.
Oh, the mother.
So when you
No,
bring the mother
yeah.
in, yeah, the mother does too. So like the mother has a dream for the daughter, and the daughter has a dream. So it's like,
Yeah, that's
Trying
conflict,
to-
it's
Pressure.
tension already.
And they're all here saying
Yeah.
15-minute speeches. I'm like, bro, come on.
It's a lot.
It is. The pressure is too much. But you didn't talk about. I just want to hear like the pressure within your family, like because you touched on that a little bit. How's
In regards
that?
to just getting married?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they still do arranged marriages in Nigeria too.
Okay.
So we don't really do that here in Canada, right? I mean, not to my knowledge. So you reach certain ages, years go on, and I don't have one yet. I don't have a girlfriend yet. My dad's like, he'd be looking, what's going on? I'm just there like, I haven't found her. He's like, I will fly you back. I will find somebody. I'm like, yo, like.
It's legit.
So it's pressure. So even as a guy too, but I feel like I'm not under as much pressure as women. Like there's a cousin,
for sure.
like one of my cousins, right? She's 22, so I feel like she's under more pressure, even though I'm 4 years older than her. But as a guy, yeah, there's still pressure for sure. Especially because the guys in our church, they're getting married chronologically. Like, it's crazy. Like the choir leader, then the media.
They're planning.
The head of our media guy, he got married like 2 years ago, and when that was done, everyone was looking at me like,
You're next. Where's your next?
"Man, face, your turn now." I'm like, oh, man. So yeah, we feel it too for sure.
so I have a question for the guys. So I heard this saying that it's like women are kind of like on a biological clock where they're like, man, time's ticking, like, you know, all this stuff. But then men are more on a like, can I provide for my family? Am I stable enough to work? Is that like the case? Like, what's your perspective on this?
That's a good question. Because, sorry,
Yeah.
before you answer, I just feel like that's also stopping a lot of women from getting married to certain men because
Yeah.
they're like, I need to get to a certain place
Yeah.
before I can marry you. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I think for me, it's more so like I have moments. Some days I'm like, yo, I would love to get married now and figure it out with the person. But now it's like I want to enjoy my singleness, but I also just want to just establish myself a little bit more. I'm not trying to say I need to be a millionaire, but I love to have my own place. I love to like be more established in my career. I'm not asking for too much, you know. I love to be established in my career. I love to just be a little bit more whole. But I do think men are stopping things because I need to be this, I need to have this, that. And it's like, bro, the blessing's right there. Like, come on, like, are you really gonna like not do that? So for me, like, I wouldn't mind like, you know, journeying with that person and trying to figure it out. Because at the end of the day, like, men, we want to provide. Like, yo, like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I don't want my, a lot of people don't like this, but I wouldn't want my woman to be paying for stuff like that, to be honest. Not like I'm funding her.
Like,
Feminism has entered the chat.
But I would want to pay for the bills, and she can probably pay for some too.
Yeah.
You know, but I would want to be a little bit more established. You know, I want someone to be paying for certain things in my life. Like I want to play that role of.
so you're trying to pay the mortgage of the house by yourself?
If God blessed me with financial income like that, why not?
100%.
You know, why not?
100%.
That's
You can pay the
how I
phone
feel.
bill. You can pay the
Groceries.
internet, groceries.
Groceries is a lot of money. $200. Our money is my money is your money. Your money is my money. So we're all making money.
It doesn't work like that, man.
Yeah, it doesn't really work like that.
Our
but-
money,
I
our money
believe
is our money. Their money is their money. That's how it's always
Yes,
been. That's
thank
how it's
you.
all. You see,
You guys agree. I don't agree. I don't agree
Okay,
with
okay, wait, I
that.
have a question. But what about when it comes to the kids and stuff? Like, you know, it's like you gotta like,
We don't talk about that.
yeah.
In terms of what though? In terms of
money, so it's like, are we both paying for like stuff when it comes to the kids? So I've been told that it's good to have 2 separate accounts when you get married, but then also to have an account for like things that you can pay for
Yeah.
together, like kids expenses for the kids, you know, depending on
Yeah.
mortgage or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
I believe, I mean, it's our kids, right? So we all gotta be paying for stuff. Am I wrong? I still do think like you should have your own bank account. I should have my own bank account, and we should have one joint where a big bulk of
That's
the
like-
money should be. You know. So I actually never heard that before, because if you're like questioning kids, like, yo, you be paying for this, like, no, it's your kid. I don't know how you feel like about that, like,
well, the kid specific in
Yeah.
general or her question in general?
or just her question in general.
You said your question was the biological
Oh,
clock.
it's kind of like
and-
how women are like, oh, time's ticking. You know, I'm
Yeah.
getting old. Like, I need to want to get married. and, like,
Yeah,
all
I
that
think
stuff. But
I
then-
think that's why the pressure is more hot for them, because they're kind of
that's true.
their procreation function has a timer.
And you can't blame them though.
You can't blame them,
Can't.
right? And then on top of that, with the procreation timer, it's also I feel like the majority of their peak beauty is in their 20s, right? And that's when you're most fertile as well. So everyone's like, okay, the 20s, this is when you need to be finding a man now. Like the choir guy, he's a good guy. Go, you know what I mean? Like they push it in 20s for a reason, because I think after 30, I think pregnancy becomes more dangerous, right? Literally all the puzzle pieces fit into that one ideal. So I think that's why they get pressured. For us, I feel like for guys, like just like Eric said, if we had the money right now, we had a girl right now, we'll get married right now, right? But typically, I feel like men don't hit their financial stride until their 30s. That's when guys are
And
deeper
usually
in their
girls
career,
have it together
Yeah.
faster,
which is crazy.
which
right?
is crazy.
Well, I was gonna say, because men take longer to figure out themselves when they're in their 20s. They're kind of like, you know, and I'm just, you know, I'm chilling here. I'll just do a little job over there. I'll just, you know,
That too, but I feel like an honest career takes time to build, though.
And it's true.
wanna be a
It's
content
true,
creator,
By
and I wanna
the time they try to figure out, like they finally settled in, it's like, this is what I want to do. And they're in their 30s,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're late 20s, like 30s, and they're going onwards. So it's like, as women, we know we have a biological clock, so we got to get things together.
But some women have to give men grace, though.
Of course.
No, but some
100%.
women don't,
They're
right?
not
They
doing it.
don't.
They're not doing
They
it.
don't give
I can't
men
get a
grace.
Birkin?
Oh, you don't drive Mercedes? Oh, no, this,
Well, you know
that.
what?
Honda Civic?
No,
Sad.
listen, because reality is most women don't. You're living off of Instagram and what people are saying on Instagram. Reality is,
That's the
I ain't
world,
asking
so,
for no
yeah.
man to have a Mercedes.
That's the world,
I ain't
yeah, that's
asking
the
no man
world,
to
that's
have
the
a-
world, yeah.
If you have a Tesla now, that's good.
what's popping.
But I'm not like most women, especially if you're just living the way that you want to live, and you're trying to, like, you know, please God and do all those things the woman that you're searching for, they're not asking for that stuff.
No, I believe that.
You know,
I
and so the
genuinely-
reality is we're getting it, like, culture begins to
Yeah,
give us
yeah,
this
yeah,
idea, like, okay, all these women, they want this specific thing. It's like, no, I just want you to be ambitious. I want you to have a plan. And if you do those things, that's enough for me to be like, okay, I'll tag along with you. But if you're out here just aimless, just be like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I think I want to do this. I kind of started,
it's hard because women want security, right? So if you look shaky, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna step back, and whenever you're ready, then I'll come back, you know? So it's not that obviously women want nice things, but that's not the thing that they want the most. They want somebody to be secure.
I think because women, they offer potential too, right? There's some guys right now that are tapping presto, but in a couple years, they're gonna be somebody important that can provide, right?
Exactly.
And I feel like women can sense that.
Yes.
Like, this guy's his head. He's not there now, but he's in the space where.
Yes.
So that's true too.
Yes.
But something else I wanted to say. Forgot.
Overall, I think vision is key.
Yes.
Like having a vision, knowing what God is calling you to do, even if you're not there yet, but you're working on it.
Yes.
I think,
Yeah.
that's big
what
for
I want
me.
people to have.
Being like, if I see that this man is partnering the Holy Spirit, he's actively seeking God, he's doing what he can right now to walk in alignment with God, but also to work towards what God is calling him to do, then that's huge.
Right.
That's a fact. Yeah. But I think social media, I think it's oversaturating the finish line. Right? You just see the jet. You didn't see when he was like. I saw a picture of Jeff Bezos when he was first starting Amazon. His little rinky dinky glasses, and he was at one office, and he had Amazon written on the wall, right. And then now he's like one of the richest guys ever, right? So it's a process, but social media is hurting that as well. But also, it's always been the same. Like, I feel like entertainment, if as a guy, if you didn't take the entertainment route, you had to get money the long way. Like being a doctor, being a pilot, these are things that you have to go to school for, and then by the time you're 30, 32, then you can get it. Then the income starts getting as your experience goes up. But now we have guys that just jump to Twitch, they're YouTubers, it's a lot quicker. Yeah. So unless you're that, then their money's gonna come later on. But some girls don't want to wait later on. Right? Some girls they want it now. So as a guy, you have to pick your battles. You have to know the type of girl that you're dealing with, and you can't be dropping money trying to keep up with her ideal, but you're not there yet. So you have to be smart too. So I feel like any guy that gets in that situation, it's your fault, to be honest. Yeah.
And also, just a random point. Like, I feel like some men, when they approach like the woman that has it all figured out, settled, they're like, oh no, I'm not ready, because they want to be ready, and then they date young, like younger, and then now we have a whole like crop of women that are older. Now they probably have to date younger, or like they're not getting anybody because all these men are just not serious, and then when they're ready, they're just dating someone 5 years younger. So it's like, yo, man, if you see someone and you see the potential in someone, just trust that person's gonna have you, and just journey with the person. Just see what happens. I'm not trying to say younger women are bad. Yeah. I'm just trying to say
you're gonna stir up a whole crowd. There'll be a whole protest.
The comments.
Not
saying that.
So Nana said, I said something last time, and they're shouting at me. I was like, okay. But I want to know, sorry, quickly about like your guys' standards, because last time I said something about, I want someone to have like, what did I even say?
You said you don't want someone to work in retail.
Retail,
and they're not moving up the kind of
self-development.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, what are your standards in today's, like, if you're to meet your match, what is your standards? Aside from, of course, like following Christ, but what are like some of the top three that you look for?
I'm glad you said that, because she has to be Christian, obviously, because I'm Christian. The next thing, I feel like she has to be extremely beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, I have to keep it a buck. I have to be beautiful.
You're visual, so it's true.
Yeah,
bro. I feel like there's beautiful women everywhere. So when I see a guy with a girl that's not that, I'm like, okay, maybe in my eyes, I'm like, there's so many. How could you go? Anyways, but I feel like she has to be beautiful. That's the next thing I look for. After that, she has to be loyal. I'm not gonna waste my time with somebody that's looking at other guys while she's with me. I feel that's unacceptable. I think those are the first two. And of course, you have to be like feminine, like a woman that just knows that's good at being a woman. Just like how I get respect for being a man and being good at being a man, I want her to be a woman to be good at being a woman, whatever those traits may be. Now that's up in the air. People say being a woman is this, being a man is this. So whatever you think that is, but that's me.
I just think mine is vision. Like, if you have vision and you want to know where you want to go, then that's all that matters. Obviously, you got to be beautiful inside and out, of course. But once you got that vision, That's all, and funny, you know. I'm not too much. I'm not high. I'm
Simple,
low
very
maintenance.
simple.
Very simple.
Very simple.
You don't even have to cook.
Women.
You don't even have to cook
6
steak.
feet.
You don't even have to.
fingers. 6
Yeah, women.
abs.
Oh yeah, he
He
has
has to be
six
a
pack
leader.
abs.
He has to have a beard. He has to
Six
sing. He
plus.
has to work out.
6
He
figures.
has to have braids.
Six
He has to
pack.
be, I'm like, Jesus.
All this stuff. All we want is just someone that has vision. That's it.
It's not our
You guys
fault.
put too much pressure on us too.
It's
much.
not our
If we don't
fault.
look like this, we can't even get a chance, Sarah.
Get it.
Sarah, we can't even get a chance.
It's not easy.
Because we don't look like this.
It's
not
not
easy.
our fault. It's social media. Okay.
Gosh, well,
Social
get off
What
the
does that mean?
social media.
No.
Get off
What
the
does that
social
mean?
media.
Listen, I don't put nothing up, but I'm just saying, men, listen, there's things that people put out that you're like, oh wow, this is so nice. Like I wish a guy would be like this and like that, and because it's like, how come guys can't do this? You don't see it often. It's not it's like chivalry and what's the other word? Just being a gentleman is not common anymore. Like that thing is not common anymore. For a man to do certain things, it's not common. It's kind of, and I don't blame men because at the end of the day, women have now taken that like, this, I don't need you to hold no door for me. Like, what are you doing? Move out of the way. But
I'm in favor of chivalry.
yeah, like you know what I mean. And it's
What does
like,
that mean?
Like being a gentleman.
Oh,
okay.
Gentlemen, open the car door.
like doing certain things that
Being
like
polite.
yeah,
If I
being
do
polite.
that, people look at me crazy.
No, I know that's what I.
Which
no,
is
but-
crazy.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's lost.
Yes.
Because
It's a lost art.
It's a lost
Yes.
art, and that's what I'm saying. People don't do that anymore. But it's. I don't even know. I lost my train of thought.
If you do that now, you're a simp.
Yes, like they look at
Yeah.
you like, you know, are you okay? Like, why are
Yeah.
you doing that? So I think that's why women have these ideas and stuff because social media is putting that out, and so there's certain things that they long for that they don't really voice sometimes.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow, that was a lot.
Yes, you asked a question. She didn't answer.
I didn't answer it. Yeah, first of all, I think standards are great to have because, and when I say standards, I'm mostly focusing in on godly standards because I don't think it hinders us from meeting the right person, but it prevents us from getting involved with the wrong ones. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's good because it also brings about accountability that you need for each other, as well as boundaries, which is key, you know, especially in like Christian relationships. So yeah, I'm all for standards, but I would say, I'm not gonna lie, I used to have this long list of all this stuff, but now like I'm kind of like, God, like what do you want for me? Who do you want me to have? Like what kind of man do you want me to be with? And I think of course, number one thing is seeking after God first. Like God is number one in his life. Everything he does, like he's taking direction from God. He's like in sync with God. And then I think the heart is a huge one for me. I think looks are important. Obviously, you want to be attracted to the person, but also, for me, it's not as much as a priority as who they are on the inside and their heart. Like seeing how they interact with people. Do they have a heart for people? You know, do they love on people? Because for me, like part of my calling is working with children and youth and ministry, right? So will this person be able to understand ministry? Will we be able to walk alongside of each other in ministry? So for me, when I think of like relationships or marriage, rather than like so much of a personal thing, I see it as more as a kingdom thing. Like how is this relationship going to glorify God? Is this person going to draw me closer to God or pull me away from him? Will we be able to protect each other's heart and protect each other's purity? So all those things are those are like the standards that I have. I used to be like, oh, I want him to have like this kind of eyes and be this height and blah. But I'm like, you know what? I've come to realize that
it's not too bad. You can still have those desires, but obviously they're not top priority.
But it's like just because he doesn't have this color eyes or he's not this height, it's like it's not, So it's like for me, it's more so like those kind of standards in terms of their heart, where they're at with God, their character, how they treat others, and if I can walk alongside this person in ministry for kingdom purposes. Right. Yeah. And we don't even have to have like the same call or ministry necessarily. Like I used to be like, oh, because I'm a singer-songwriter, I want someone to also play an instrument, which would be great, but like but more so than asking like, does this person play an instrument? It's more like, does he have a heart of worship? So things like that. Yeah. So.
But I think what you said was huge with the standards. I think standards can blind you a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if you feel like this, my partner has to be this, this, and this, when someone else from outside of your standards walk by you, like they might be a good person, but you're blind because you only see your standard, right? But like this person's a good person, like right in front of you, like go. So standards can be a blinder. So I think,
Don't
she
block your
touched on
blessings.
that. Yeah.
Don't block your blessings. Wow.
That
was
I like that.
some great answers, man.
Thanks. I mean, our camera died. One of them did.
Did it?
Yeah, it did.
Oh wow.
See, guys, it's too much fire. You guys are
fire?
too much
Too much
fire,
fire.
So look at
man.
this camera right here.
Too much fire.
If this is on, I don't even know if it's on.
It is. It is. The last question is, what are you excited for in this season
Yeah.
that you're in? I think that was the question. Yeah.
Eric.
What is it?
It's for you too. I'm like a third, like
Yeah, you can go
I'm like a third guest.
What am I excited for in this season? I'm in a season where I think I'm just open to whatever God wants to do, and I know He's doing something new. I just don't know what that is, but I feel like, I started at a new church. I'm making new friends. Like, I feel like there's just a lot of newness, and I'm kind of at a place where I'm the type of person that likes to know, and like I'm always like asking God questions, but He's really teaching me like how to have faith in this season and just to not put limits on what He can do, because He can do more than I can think, ask, or imagine. So I'm just excited to see what that is, even though I don't know what it is yet. I know it's going to be good, and yeah.
Awesome.
I think I'm just excited for. Sounds cheesy, but tomorrow. I'm just ready for
Nice.
tomorrow. I feel like if you stay consistent in something, no matter how hard it is, I feel like every day you get better. So if I'm excited about tomorrow, I know that there's growth. There's a new limit waiting on me the next day. I feel like that's super encouraging. So yeah.
Jenna, what are you excited for in this season?
I'm excited for just, I don't even know. What am I excited for? I think I'm excited just to figure out who I am and to allow me to flourish in my single season and not be so bogged down by the question of, oh, I need someone, or this and that, because I also have those thoughts as well, but I feel like this season I want to dedicate it to be like, you know what, let's forget about that, like put it on the back burner, and let's figure out who I am and what I like to do, and those characteristics that one day I eventually can share with someone openly. So yeah.
For myself, I'm excited to get to know God more. Very cliche, but I really want to max out my singleness, like hit the peak of it, to be honest. So, learning about myself, covering bases in my life that's hindering me from growing. Like, it could be family, it could be within myself, it could be friendships, it could be so many things, past traumas, past hurt. Trying therapy, never tried that before. We're gonna try it, we're gonna try a lot of things.
Nice.
So I'm excited to see what God has to do with me, because my story's not finished. I had one more thing to say, but I forgot. But yeah, I just really want to get to know God more in this time of singleness, and when that time comes, I'm gonna be a sick boyfriend. Help me up.
Amen.
Glory to God. You are all meant to be great boyfriends and husbands, so we agree.
Yeah.
We accept. For me, I think, just excited for just the new things that I can do in the season. Just taking on new adventures, and for me, it's traveling. I want to travel so bad. Take me out of this country. But just being able to just rest in who I am and just be okay with who I am, and learning things and being uncomfortable with the uncomfortable parts of me, like not running from it, but just embracing it and saying, this is who I am, I'm unique in this, and that's where God can do His great work in me. And so I'm not gonna be perfect. And yeah, just being a better person for my future hubby. Or that here.
Ow.
Yeah, that's basically it. If you guys have any final thoughts you want to share.
Podcast was great. I
Thanks for
learned a
coming.
lot. Heard a lot of perspectives. I think it was super educational. I feel like we got a lot of points across. People that were watching and want to say something, I feel like we kind of could have helped them out, helped them see something too. This is great. You guys should keep going.
Thanks.
Yeah, we covered a lot of bases.
We did.
Yeah, I just want to say a big thank you. Like I actually I'm honored to be on your podcast. Like, so thanks for reaching out to me and asking me. Like, when I heard it was about singleness, I was kind of like, oh man, that's vulnerable.
Yeah.
But I prayed about it and I really felt like God wanted me to do this and to I'm still learning a lot, but just to share what He's been putting on my heart to share with everyone. So I hope y'all are blessed and whoever's listening is blessed by this podcast. And yeah, I just want to encourage you three, keep it going. Like, it's great what you guys are doing. And yeah, thank you.
But yeah, I think one of the purposes for this podcast, especially in our new season, is just highlighting people's stories. And I really love the stories we've been hearing so far in season 4. So let's keep it going, y'all.
Yep. Well, before we close, obviously, we just want to make sure you guys subscribe because these people drop some nuggets. Okay? Nuggets. Oh, give a thumbs up.
Give a thumbs up.
Definitely
too.
give a thumbs up.
Yes.
And share with someone who think will be blessed by this
Yes.
episode. If you don't know who we are, once again, we are The
Tell
Juxtaposition.
them where to follow us too.
Oh, you can follow us on
Golly.
Instagram.
Send us a DM. We can talk to you. Don't
But
worry,
it's
man.
The Juxtaposition Podcast _ because
Yes.
somebody else has that name. But
Yes.
obviously humbled, but we are better.
Hallelujah.
So if you're not, go do that. I mean, we are on Spotify, Google, Apple. So go
All
listen
of
on
that.
there. I don't know. Sarah, do you want to share your music in terms of like?
Y'all plug that.
Sure.
What the heck?
Wow, thank you. Okay, yeah, so if you're interested in hearing my music, you can check out my Instagram page. It's at sarahfeliciamusic.com, SarahFelicia. Sorry, www.sarahfeliciamusic.com is my website. And then my Instagram is at sarahfeliciamusic.
Don't worry, we'll put in the link. You won't miss it.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, you guys can find me on my social media as _Ayigbe, AYIGBE, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, everything. So yes, you can find me
So
at.
if you're trying to slide in anybody's DMs, please go with caution because you just heard what these guys said. They ain't playing around with anybody, bruh.
It's not just
All
anybody.
right? Come on.
And stuff.
And that's all, folks, for the world's best podcast in the world. I said in the world 2 times. For the Juxtaposition, we're out of here. Peace.